Hello everyone, I'm Giuseppe Basile, also known as the Fib Stalker, and you can find me at fibstalkertrading.com. You can also find me on Twitter at fibstalker. In this brief video, I'm going to review for you three markets: the New Zealand dollar US dollar, the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen, and the New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar. So let's start from the New Zealand dollar US dollar here. This is a very technical market, and what you see here is the weekly time frame. Going to remove these previous levels I've traced here, and I'm going to start reviewing this market on the weekly time frame here. And what is important to note in this time frame, that differently from the Australian dollar, US dollar, this market actually has recently traded a 50% level, an important 50% level that happened in 2015, and that's the reason why we saw this brief move higher here. And apparently that move has ended, and that move was actually generated by the participation at the 63.70 area here with 1, 2, 3, and 4 test. And the fourth test came a few months later in at the beginning of 2016 here, and it is also generated a sequence of a measured move here with price participating then on 67, price into the first target, and then again after the first target was hit, this market has found participation again in this 69, it did 80 area, and then again in the for the second test in 69, 80 area here. That was end of July, and again this price was pushed higher by algos and professional traders into 74.40. When this market came back, it did initially find participation in the following measure move, but then this has failed. As you can see here, last week we also commented it in our review. This has failed. So where this market is going now, there are two levels we're going to watch, and the most obvious one is the 50% retrace here, the trend continuation area in 68.45, and this market will also initially bounce at a higher level here, which is also our target for short. So this market is being pushed lower and has not offered the typical 50% retrace after the trend has been broken here. And so we are looking for a target. As I mentioned before, the first target is going to be the lows to highs. This previous measure move with shorts at 73.54 has pushed price into the second target. That's the reason why we're seeing this little participation on the upside here, and it's going to be much more evident here on the daily when we look at the profit taking that is happening as this market reached the second target here, and went a little bit below that. Now if this market retraces, we're going to take an opportunity, a stab at short if this market gets into the 71.40. If that happens, this market will keep pushing lower into, as I mentioned before, my first target would be aligned with that second target. So that would be the 69.15. So 61.40 will bring price into 69.30 there, and that's where you wanna take profits for this opportunity. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. This market has been moving lower recently, and this market has been in a sequence of 50% retraces here. The next extension failed, and that caused this market to unravel as soon as the first target was reached here. So this market then, as we mentioned, for a number of months and a couple of years here, had to come to retest the 50% level here, 69.11. The low was 69, so this level was tested, and this is a potential long for this market. Okay, so the shorts temporarily here are ended, at least on the weekly time frame, and this market, though, when came off the this level initially as and is still holding the 72-73 area here. Market pierced below the level 72.95, but still holding these prices, and this has been tested. This has been tested once, twice, three times, and now it's being tested again. So is this an opportunity to get long? We also have to always to look at the opposite participation here. The opposite participation has been very strong, and as the potential and as a first target below the 72.03 at 71.86. So we need to see whether this participation at the fourth time, so we had already participants here and algos who actually have been sustaining this price. We will need to see whether they're able to keep doing it now as well. And we have a sequence on the 4-hour time frame as well, and as we would anticipate, and algos are using the highs and have pushed this price into the first and second target. So this market is being confirmed, the longs are being confirmed here, and it is possible for this market to bounce from this level. If that's the case, these the targets that we saw on the weekly, which were identified by the by this measure move here, are still in play here. 78.63 would be the target of this measure move starting here. Note that on this on the 4-hour time frame, this market has still a lot of overhead resistance from that money. We have the 4-hour and daily, which will attempt selling this first reaction higher here in a fashion very similar to what happened in the previous bounce here. So however, algos are actually confirming a participation on the upside in this market. Finally, the last market I want to review here is the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. And this market, as we mentioned a number of times, has been on a lateral move here for a few years. And the recent measure move here, which found participation 90.84, was not capable of pushing this price into the first target. The first target is just above previous recent price here, but when we move the scale here, it's very clear that that target was never hit, as we can see here. So we're seeing a reaction here, and that reaction it's not being supported by long here. So any at this point, any bounce or retrace on the upward would be an opportunity to sell this market. In fact, we could get a 50% retrace here from this low or lower lows here. That could be an opportunity to sell this market, and this market could have the potential to actually keep moving laterally here and actually trade along again into the 87.42. So it's quite a move there, and we'll see whether that is going to happen. There is a previous resistance anyway that this market will encounter in the 91.80 area. Not sure whether that will be capable of holding this price. If this price continues lower, we could see 87.30 area again. This is it for this brief review. Thanks for watching.